Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to do the first dribbling tutorial for the channel for FC26. I did a couple of these at the start of last year and they just took off. You all were so appreciative and really enjoyed everything I put into those. So we're going to start off this year with my first, and I'm excited to finally get this out to everybody. Really quickly, what I do here is the moments game mode. So I'll show you where I'm going. We're taking a look at this is the play versus AI menu. There's moments. The first one, it's actually better than last year. You get 60 full minutes, so you can just be against the amateur AI in Ultimate Team is the important thing. It's not a squad battles game, so you don't have to worry about like winning or anything or losing points or what have you. Just up against amateur AI, you get 60 minutes, you know, part of the first half, all of the second half. You're just up against the amateur AI, and what I want to do with this video is, for me, I'm going to release quite a few of these throughout this part of the year. I really want to get out just like as much as I can. But for this first one, this is going to be a what you should be doing. The other ones I'm going to go through like why I'm doing these certain things or why I need to be looking here, why this over this, that kind of stuff. But for this one, this is a very basic like, this is what I'm doing, this is what you should be learning, these are the buttons you're doing, this is like the commands I'm finding that are working. So just a really basic like, just get you started. If you're kind of like looking to dribble like I do, but you don't know where to begin, I'm going to teach you the buttons I've been using. So as a real quick like overview of what dribbling is, they removed agile dribbling, so the L2 R2 dribbling from last year does not work, so there's no point doing L2 R2. But we're going to go over L1 dribbling, which is Strafe, which is improved by Trickster Plus, which I've got on Due out wide. We'll go through Tech Plus, which I got on Hard Dare, who's out wide, just to show off some things, right? I don't have any Press Plus players. I do have Base Press on Frankie de Jong, so we'll kind of talk about that too. There's definitely a big benefit to Press Plus, it's just there's not many cards with it right now, right? But so what I'm trying to accomplish, I think it's going to be easiest to start talking about tech. Tech is good, and you definitely want to be implementing it into your game. Obviously, against the current meta is kind of this like 4-4-2, everybody's playing drop back and or spamming offside traps, but they're all in this kind of shape, but even deeper. They're somehow getting like their left mid and the right mid all the way back here. You can't tech through all of that, right? It'd be the same, like, just sprint right into it. Exactly, you see they're just going to go right for the tackle, even the AI here. So what you're trying to accomplish with tech, for me, it's not so much like this year, where you're bursting on through that gap. It's not quite fast enough, and the defending's just about good enough. What I want to do with tech instead is just kind of open up space. So use it here, and get a little bit out wide, tech into something else. So we'll use that to turn. I'll do it again. Not wide. We're pulling their team wider. You can see it's one of the center backs actually on me now. I'm just going to pull them out. And that's going to open up a gap there. Now we've got something to do. Now we've got to move, right? So that's going to be tech for me. And actually everything I'm going to basically cover in this video. The dribbling's good this year. It has improved. It's more fun than it was last year. Although I do, again, miss the L2 R2. There's not quite a replacement for that. Although the base left stick is better. So you can use the base left stick in most situations. But for most things, I think people are going like, the dribbling is improved, and therefore I can just dribble through everything, right? And then they'll do this. They'll just, a dribble, and then I've got nothing left. And they'll just kind of dribble into like a cul-de-sac. They'll just completely run out of options. No, you want to use your dribbling to accomplish other things. So see there, I mean, the center back steps to me. We're using that left stick, able to hold on to the ball. This is really basic. The left stick, you really just want to get your back to the opponents. Just make sure, you know, you're in front of the ball. The tackling from behind is nerfed, so you can't just like tackle spam, you can't tackle from behind. You will get more pens this year if people are doing that, or they just miss. The tackles tend to miss a lot. And so if your back's to them, tackling from behind doesn't work, they're not going to get the ball off of you, and you can just use that to kind of turn them. So this kind of, you're doing the left stick just like this. They're not going to be able to get the ball off of you, no matter what you're holding on to possession. And you'll come up against the really annoying opponents that are just kind of doing this, and there's really not much you can do. You can try some of the second man press, but then you'll be out of position, right? You're just kind of doing this and this. But a lot of people will do this and not know what it's accomplishing. So for me, like, you see how Frankie de Jong makes a move after I turn with Messi? It's all about that. So using the left stick, we'll do it again. Now Frankie's open. You see how I'm shifting that defender? That AI, the AI opponent there. We're just pulling them in. We'll pull the fullback in. Now we've got space again. Every single dribble you want to be doing. Again, I don't think dribbling's strong enough to be like this in every single situation where you're just kind of spamming on through, you're trying to go through. Like you can if you're up against an opponent that's susceptible to it. But you can't do that for like the full match. So for me, it's always just like, oh, we're going to open up a little bit of a gap there. Now I've got an even easier space to dribble on into. There you go, right? So for me, the main focus for dribbling is just make sure that no matter what you're doing, you're using it to accomplish something. Because people will just go, oh, the dribbling's good. Again, like I covered, the dribbling's good. We're just going to walk in here. You see how I walked forward and I actually lost everything? Am I able to get right back there? Because this will be a really good thing to cover. This is actually a good example. Like Messi's out wide, Doué's out wide, Hemp's there. I've got my left center mid, so this space that's normally occupied by the left center mid, while I'm dribbling with him on the right, Mariano can't go down over there. Messi's trying to burst on through, but he makes the wrong run, really. I'd rather him run in between the center backs, I think. You see I've dribbled myself into just nothing. I've actually opened up things behind, so I could like turn back to Mariano or Frankie or maybe out here, you know? Like I've opened up the space behind me, but I've actually accomplished nothing for like having a more aggressive attacking thing here to do. So instead of this with Rangers, where you're just being selfish, you're like, okay, the dribbling's good, let me just utilize it. If I turn this way, I go down in this direction, right? We'll actually be able to like open up that run from Messi in a different way. So if I'm just looking to go down this way instead, like Hemp might come to connect a little bit more. It gives more time for some of the runs to be made. It'll pull the center back out. You're trying to do other things with it. So the left stick is really good. Can I? Thank you. I thought the game crashed. The left stick's really good, but again, you're using it for the rest of your team, and that's the benefit of this formation when you get so many players. This is the 4-3-3 holding, which I've covered pretty extensively on the channel for now. Extensively. I've got 2 videos out on it for like what I'm doing with it, right? The tactics review and all that. But you've got so many attackers up here that you just want to make sure that you're like, oh, dribble this way, and now Mariano steps back. Dribble this way. I've got really nothing. We're waiting. Now Rangers is in a decent spot, like that kind of thing, right? So you're just waiting for the AI to come connect with you. Now you'd be able to score a pretty easy goal from there, right? So the tech itself, definitely you want to be using the tech. If you want, and you've got the space to be aggressive, let's get this hard area, right? The tech flicks are pretty decent too. And so that's tech dribbling and then just flicking the ball. So you can do these little cuts. That was a bad example. I didn't aim it right. I say little cuts. They're big cuts. They're like, yeah, it travels definitely quite a distance. The tech minus is pretty usable. I'm definitely using like tech on Messi, who's just got the base. I'm using tech on Mariano, who's got the base. You can see there, so that's the tech flick. Like if you're getting a little bit too close to somebody, you can do that flick to just get away, exactly like that. So these are pretty usable too. Just keep in mind you've got to have the space for it. So if you're like doing this back into somebody else, well, you'll get away from the one player, but you're just kind of going to move into the other one. So that's something you can keep in mind. They're pretty decent. But tech is something you want to make sure you're using. We'll get into L1 now. L1 is actually a bit of a nerf from last year. At the very, very beginning of the year, I was like, I can't see myself ever using this. I have found a use case for it. There is a little bit of something you can do. Normally, it's fixing something for me. So I think the left stick normally for a player like this is still going to be more advantageous. Whereas if you're doing the L1, you can see it's not that quick. You're not covering enough of a distance. It almost feels like you need, and quick step wouldn't work, but like you need that quick step where it just go a little bit further, if you know what I mean. So the tech itself, or excuse me, the Trickster Plus, the L1 Strafe dribbling is not that strong. However, I do like using it to escape when I've gotten a little bit too close. So like I'll do that and then L1 out of it. So if I'm doing like a skill move and then I try to left stick, you'll see there's like a little bit of hesitation. The first touch is going to be pretty heavy. Whereas if I L1, it actually cuts out of it quicker. I find this especially useful on skill moves. Where you're like, oops, I've actually traveled too far, and then L1, and you see how I get this quick turnaround? If I do that just with the left stick, you see how heavy that first touch is? So the L1 is kind of that for me. And then you get into this really controlled position, whereas the left stick itself is like, okay, your first touch is really heavy, your second touch is a little heavy, and then the third you're finally like recovering under control. Whereas this is like right back into control. You see what I mean? So that's what I recommend Trickster for this year. I don't recommend using it like in some of the, especially 24, but a little bit 25. You could just kind of L1 through everybody you see. I just don't have the speed, especially if they've got like the pace and they're coming at you with a tackle. I just don't have the speed with it to be able to get around. So you're not using this to beat players. You're using this very possessively though to like make sure you're holding onto the ball. You can do it here too. So basically any kind of like quick cut, the L1 is pretty good for. But you're not using it to beat somebody. You're using it to be like, oh, I'm actually too close. Let me just kind of escape. It's almost in a way like think of the way you do shielding. Well, that's kind of how you're thinking about L1. Like, it's for retaining possession, it's holding onto the ball. And it is going to be something you kind of just want with the Trickster Plus players. So you got Due, you got Dabinia, somebody like that. If you're doing it with Frankie de Jong, you'll see his touch is... This is L1. This is nowhere near the same. Every once in a while I will do it. So we'll try it off that skill move again. Whereas with Due, I was like doing the skill move and then just holding L1 for a while. With Frankie, oops, that's not the skill move I meant to do. That's on me. With Frankie though, I'd be like, come on. I think that first touch I would use L1 to settle, and then immediately I'd go back into left stick. So you see, like, I'm trying to use it to, excuse me. Come on. Let me get the example. One touch and then back into normal left stick and just go, okay, your normal trickster dribbling isn't that great. You don't have trickster, of course. So one touch just to kind of settle, and I think that's okay. But then you're back into the normal left stick and you just try to use the dribbling like normal from there. The shield dribbling is not something I've experimented with too much. I think it's something I use to just kind of save myself. If you're like being sprinted down, or if you get a really bad first touch, and you're like, actually, like I'll turn right into shielding to save, maybe it's a really heavy pass, something like that. Oops, just shield, just to, I'm probably going to lose the ball anyway, so I use shield to try to fix it just in case. I don't recommend it for most situations. If you've got Enforcer, it's a little bit better, but I've tried it on a couple players, and I still don't think it's going to be that advantageous. It's going to work here against the AI, even without a player with Enforcer or Bruiser, because Bruiser can change it too for the L2 dribbling. But it's not really, again, like you might use it to just guard against one tackle. It's not something you want to use for a long time, though. Let me get back into this game. Oh, this actually goes into extra time. That I did not know. Interesting. So shield dribbling is not something I recommend experimenting with too much. If you got the players for it, again, you can. But it's more going to be just like one little thing. You try to turn somebody, you can do that. Like, it's basically if none of the other methods are going to work, you can shield, but I don't recommend using it over anything else. With all that said, let's go through the basic skill moves I think you should learn. The first one I want to start with will be... let's see, actually, what is my favorite one this year? I think my favorite is still this one. So this is the, if you know how to do the Burba spin, in this direction, if I'm moving here, it's just like the direction you're facing, and then 90 degrees to either side. So that's the base Burba spin. But if you do it while... Okay, we're going to start here. If you do it while holding L1, you get this 3-touch exit version. That's fun. I didn't know this was a glitch. Can I get out of this, please? Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back on in. I just had to leave moments and restart. So the L1... Oh, excuse me. This one I spent... Nope, that's not the one. That's also not the one. Excuse me. Can you do it? There we go. That one I especially like because you can cancel out of it really well too. So that's the normal. But it's also a really good fake because... that's the wrong timing with it. That's on me. It's a really nice fake because you can use it to just turn like immediately back around anyway. You can cancel it in quite a few directions too, so that's very nice. I've been using the... I think the main one actually, out of every skill move you should learn, I should have thought of this one first. The main one I've been using so much is the drag back. The drag back's back this year. You can see, I mean, like, even against the AI, they got no... I know it's amateur AI. But you can almost see how quick it is here, right? Like, this skill move this year is just phenomenal. It gives you the ability to react in case you're like, actually, that's not what I should have done. You can just go by, like, back normal. You can use it as a bit of a feint. You can use it to get away from players, and you can see it travels enough of a distance where you're able to use it to get, like, in behind people, too. The drag back this year, I think, is, like, the #1 skill move to use. It's a 2-star skill move, I believe it is. So you can even do it with your center backs if you like. But yeah, that's going to be the main one. The new L1... I'm going to call it a ball roll step over. People are calling it L1 Elasticos. L1 Elastico is actually this one, which is slightly different. You see it doesn't start with the ball roll. It's like multiple step over versions. That's if you do L1 and then the normal Elastico input. This is actually L1 and then the step over input. So I'm going to call this the L1 step over or the L1 ball roll step over. That's not the version. Give me some space here. That's the version. It's not quite a ball roll. You do like a little... almost like a La Croqueta touch for the first touch. This one's nice. I mean, you can turn it in each direction if you like, so it's another adjustable skill move where like, actually, this isn't the one I should have done. You can use it to turn any way you like. Kind of like a normal body feint. That's a new skill move that was added this year, so I do like that one. People are using it as this like sprint in behind, like the new L1 sprint boost thing. I don't recommend that. I really don't. Like I say, the sprinting through this year, or like using things to try to get past people, is not quite the thing to do this year. So I'm normally using a skill move to like feint in order to go turn into something else, right? Now a couple of the other skill moves I like. If you're, that's a bad decision. If you're somewhere like this, as he runs right past me, let me try to get the angle for it if it's gonna let me. Especially on the wing somewhere here. I really like this skill move to just kind of cut behind somebody. So if you're sprinting but they're catching up, you can do that to get right on behind. So that's L1, and then 90 degrees one side, 90 degrees the other side, depending on which way you're facing. Excuse me here. The another key ones I want you to learn, ball rolls and feints, body feints. Because if you do like one skill move and then you need to get out of it, the body feints and the ball rolls are the quickest, like best way to regain your balance, to make sure you're not taking too heavy of a touch. You can do that like into some ball rolls. That one into another body feint if it's gonna register. There we go. So that kind of thing, the body feints and the ball rolls, it's just holding to the side or flicking to the side, one or the other. The step overs I don't find that good this year. Neither the step over cancels, which was actually a big kind of skill move last year. Next to learn will be, in my opinion, what we just did there, the directional nutmegs. That's going to be like this. That is L1, R1, so you hold both at the same time, and then you flick the right stick in any direction. You get a couple of variations. The worst two are the immediate forward and the immediate back. You can see that one's like, it just got this, it takes a little while to turn around. I don't recommend those too much. The direct side to side, so 90 degrees to the right or 90 degrees to the left, is phenomenal. You can also cancel out of it into a pass to just kind of slow down, drag the ball slightly back, and get a different passing angle. Not that one. That's a flick. Excuse me. Get the ball on the ground. Like that. Poor example, but you see what I mean. My favorite, though, is this 90 degrees backwards to the side. You can almost just... That's the wrong input. You can tell how strong that is, just, again, once again, against the AI here. This is a phenomenal skill move. They have no idea what's going on, and most opponents really aren't going to predict that one in particular either. Trickster fake shots are good. You just need a trickster base, a player with trickster, and then just a normal fake shot input. They're pretty good. The people have been asking me about the new, it's the L2 Elastico. We're just holding L2 and then a normal Elastico input. Give me that back, please. This one I do not find that strong. That one I do, actually. We'll talk about that in a second. The L2 Elastico, I'm not that big of a fan, actually. And I'm not sure what it is. Like, you can definitely get by somebody, but I think the jockey speed just tends to recover, like, into this one a little bit too hard. Or you tend to just do it like that into the opponent. It's a little bit hard to get around them. The shot cancels, so that's pressing just shoot and then immediately going L2, R2. These are weaker this year. I do not recommend them. In most situations, almost any, actually. I think what makes them good in the past is because agile dribbling worked. So you had, you know, you do a shot cancel, but you're immediately holding the strafe dribbling inputs. Because strafe dribbling, the L2, R2 dribble is gone this year. I do not recommend this one too much. So shot cancels, you're not turning into a good recovery type dribble with a strafe. You're just, or excuse me, the agile dribble. L2 R2 was agile, excuse me. You're not turning into an immediate like dribbling type. You're just turning into normal left stick, and it's a little heavy to recover with a normal left stick. So I don't recommend that one too much. I do like the double flick back. It's kind of similar to the other ones, like this one where you just kind of escape somebody. That's just going to be this little feint. Helps you turn immediately back. It's the fastest way to turn back, I think. Better than the L1, or better than the direct back directional nutmeg. Slightly better than this one too, but if you hold L1 and just flick the stick back twice, you get that version as well. Kind of a ball drag. If you want a little bit of flair, one I'm going to recommend is actually the... I said I didn't like the new L2 Elastico. I do like it when you're standing still. So for a little bit of flair... It's a 4-star skill move, I do believe. You're standing still here, so do the normal Elastico input. You get this weird little like drag touch to the side, and then they do almost a Ronaldo chop while standing still. it's actually got a good distance travel to it. And nobody knows how to cover this one. So that's actually really strong, like just the skill moves that travel the ball a distance and then like move it pretty quickly to another way are always the strongest ones. So because this one, like, it's just going so far, it's even just like the Burba spin. Yeah, but the ball's stationary for a moment, right? There's something about this one where just it moves away and then it moves back forward. Kind of like these ones. The multiple touches are so strong when you're like just one touch into that second one. I'll say the Laco Kaitas are pretty decent this year. So if you want to do it's L1 and then just hold to the side, again, another 4-star skill move. Those are going to be most of the ones at this point I recommend learning pretty early on. But the main ones, I'd say the drag back is just a really simple skill to implement. It's so powerful. The directional nutmegs, so those are 4-star skill moves for what it's worth. Directional nutmegs, super strong as well. And then I probably just recommend some of the basic ones. You can do body feints and ball rolls. I will say most of the skill moves this year I've tried are actually pretty strong. So we may do like maybe a series at some point, just going through most of the skill moves you can do in the game. The L1 heal to heal does seem a little nerfed this year, and the base heal to heal does too. So I don't recommend those too much right now. Yeah, Laco Kaita exam. Okay, it doesn't work if they run into each other. Laco Kaita, just like that. Nice little 1-2 to the side. But again, I'm not going to recommend using the skill moves too much to like, to burst on through. Normally I'm going to use the skill move like to kind of feint, like I'm going to get on through here. It didn't quite work that time. And we're at full time. I'm not using the skill move to like, let me do that and now let me go score. You're not going to see that too much. Instead, you're going to see like, oh, let me get the angle. Skill move into... Oh, now I've got something else I can do. Now we've generated something. So normally, I don't think there's like a single skill move of just use this and now you go and score immediately. This year it's more like skill move into, now I've got a second skill move, now I've done something. So the skill moves are feints. They're encouraging your opponents to like come into you. Oh, this looks like a heavy touch, or like this looks risky, one or the other, and they're going to just make that step to you. And all of a sudden, after that step's made, now you've got space to go do something else. So what's going to be the main types of dribbling? I'm going to try to get a couple of real quick in-game examples, and we will go from there. So it's a really basic example of the strength of the left stick this year. You've probably seen this, but I just want to like point out, because I think a lot of people are going to go like left stick into, oh, like I was worried a little bit that VBD was going to block that shot. I probably could have taken it immediately. But okay, like most people are going to just turn and try to go this way. I use it as a feint. So it's just like, that's how strong it is. You can just turn around. This is left stick only. So you want to just kind of keep in mind what you're using left stick for. This is something like that's really strong. Lauren Hemp with decent dribbling, but no chem style or no chemistry because she's like, I've just got her on 0 chem. But this is how strong it is. Just again, you're using it as feints. Everything again. I think people are going to treat this year kind of like last year, where you just have to be direct every single time. It's not the directness you're looking for. You're looking to make it look like you'll be direct and then use that to your advantage and go do something else. Something that's actually a lot stronger this year than it was last year that I just want to cover really briefly. The point of this clip isn't the skill move so much as just what I'm doing. Look at the skill move into space. So this is the this is Foot Champs game, I believe, and this is going to be this is the like a double use of the directional nutmeg directly to the side that we talked about, right? But notice how I'm doing this while I'm not too close to the opponent. Like I'm doing this into open space. I think this is a big thing this year, whereas like last year, again, the tackling, you could just spam tackle this and you can travel such a great distance. This year, if you're actually in a little bit of open space, then you're really threatening, especially how strong the dribbling with the left stick is and all that, right? This is a fake technical flash above the head. I'm not actually doing tech dribbling here, I don't think. But it's just, you know, I'm just using one thing, feint this way. I pull VVD all the way across. I get them, like, here's the advantage to this. This is a fairly basic scenario. And now I threaten off this way. And so they had like, oh, there was a threat. They had to cover one thing. Now there's an even bigger threat. They have to cover another thing. They have to make a big switch. Now he's a little bit heavy, doing a jockey all the way back the other way. So now he's making a big commit all the way down there. So the next jockey is actually even slower. He's really heavy on this third one, if that makes sense. Like, oh, he's got to come all the way, or the second one, he's got to come all the way back again, and then turning across is just so easy. It's just a normal left stick turn, and then it opens up the space like it's nothing, right? So Yeah, that's a big thing for me, is just utilizing your opponent's body momentum against them. And if you can just get the turn where you're like, because like this is fairly neutral, and then they're a little bit susceptible, and then it's easier to make them just more and more susceptible from there. So everything you can do, I'm always going to say like, get your threat up high. So like what you're doing is really, really threatening, and your opponent's got to panic a little bit and make some situations that are going, or some decisions that are going to put them in spots that are less advantageous for them. So they're just really going to go, I've got to make a massive step all the way here. I've got to make a difficult challenge that's not always going to be guaranteed to be made. And if they're really, really strained in that way, then it's just even easier to get against them. This is also one I want to cover. Look at how I use Due to adjust their defensive positioning. So if we take a look just 3 seconds before, they're pretty well set, and I don't have anything up here with me. Actually, I don't have a pass back to Bonmati. I could go back here if I need to with the left back, but I don't need to. I've got enough open space. But look how they're in this shape, right? So instead of a flat back 4, they've kind of got this offset version. And all I'm trying to do is get these two players to drop, and that's going to open up the space back here for Bonmati. So look how I do that. I do a little cut inside with the ball roll, and then as a ball roll step over. That's a combination skill move. And we're just pulling Vitinha even further back. I thought I had the space, but they recognize it. So they're just going to, you know what, I'm going to step all the way out with the Vitinha, and they're going to cover it. So look how I get Vitinha out of position again. We're just kind of dribbling across him. I'm feinting that I'm going to go back in. I'm feinting that I'm going to go back in. There's another little like stutter step that just buys enough time. And he doesn't have the jockey. The jockey is pretty poor this year, especially if you don't have jockey plus as the playstyle. Just not able to maintain that position with Vitinha. It's been really easy to shift him out of the way. Now I've got Bonmati, and I know like I'm trying to get that open because I've got something else. So I'm like, I'm not doing this for Bonmati, I'm doing this for Alvarez. I'm like, he's controlling these players out here. He's not going to get to his center backs in time. I've got the positioning here. Same thing. Like, do I have the shot at the near post? No. So I'm going to pull out VVD. We're going to try to get him out of position even more. Not quite able to here, so I'm going to see, do I have any attacking AI? Well, my left wing and my left center mid are at the touchline now, so I don't have much here. So I'm going to just kind of delay, or I'm going to solo dribble here. We do that no skill move I talked about, so that's the L2 Elastico while at a dead stop. Something I should mention, the L1 stops have been fixed. So you see, I just barely tap L1 here. See the input there? And that just stops him dead. It's almost like doing a fake shot stop, where you just do fake shot but you don't hold the left stick. Well, you press L1 but you don't hold the left stick, and that just stops them completely on their tracks, but it's the best way to stop just completely stationary. It's very, very effective. And we're just trying to drag them all around. They're not controlling their center backs, and I kind of noticed that. Get a little bit of space here for the finesse, and there we go. So good dribbling overall, but the main thing here to cover is just, like, they're in too strong of a position immediately, where they were like this, where I can't get back here to Bonmati. If that's what I want, then I can't have them in this shape. I got to turn them back into the flat shape, right? So we're looking to get them back here, which is a flat back 4, and now I'm going to open up the space there. Well, it's not quite flat, but you see the idea that I'm talking about, right? It pulls them all out of shape. And we just generate the space by just kind of shifting a little bit. I'm not under threat. I don't need to do anything immediately, so we're just kind of trying to shift that AI around. Here's a good use case of tech. So we've got Bonmati, very lucky there. Great card, very, very strong technical dribbling. You'll see we're using tech. I combo it into a skill move back into tech, and then use that as a feint once again. We'll just get the shot over there. So tech is, again, very, very strong. But I'm not using tech singularly to run on through. I think a lot of people will just commit to tech and just, you know, go immediately, try to go all the way through here. That's not what I'm doing. I'm using tech to make it look like I might do that so that I get to go across them. You're going to see this time and time again. This is the main thing about my dribbling. I'm not just using something to get through. I'm using something to make it look like I've got that ability to. So they have to cover that. It's the fact that they have to that makes it easy for me to cut back on. Or cut back in. If I'm doing this more poorly, we're like, you know, let's say VVD is like here instead of back here. If VVD's here, he's face up, he can cover just about anything I can do. He can jockey off to either way, he can drop back, he can do whatever's needed in this situation, right? He's able to cover just about anything, but here, he's not. If he doesn't control this guy, then I am able to just do this. But I know as soon as I see that indicator above his head, he switches on over to this guy, right? As soon as that switch is made, he's got to come cover all this space. I mean, this is the primary threat. This is too easy of a shot to take. So he has to, no matter what in the situation. And I can tell throughout the course, of like, this is elite div rivals in this case. The opponent's going to be good enough to know this is too much of a threat. I'm going to use that to my advantage. I've got that threat. they come immediately across, they're like, oh, I've got to do something drastic to try to cover this. It's because I'm smart with the angles and the positioning of everything and just the timing. So utilizing that, not just tech, we do a little bit of a feint with something else. We get a good spacing. This, you saw me use it again, the ball roll step over. This is something I really like, just for the spacing of it. You don't see a lot of people do it, and it's very, very basic. Just do a ball roll, and then you do a step over. It just changes the angle of everything. As well as, this is a bit of a feint, so it looks like maybe it could be going to duet here, or slowing down, buying time. Just a little bit off to the side. You see how that opens up the space? The timing and the spacing of everything is going to be really, really important. Hopefully this all has been helpful. I think we're going to call it here for now. Do let me know what you want me to cover, what helped about this, what didn't, anything else you want me to go through. I'm going to try to cover everything else more in depth, but like in smaller singular videos. So this, like, spacing I'm talking about here, if you're high enough level with the game to be like, oh, I understand what that means, I can start implementing that, then you're good. And this is the stuff I want you to just try to be focusing on and start, again, implementing. But if you're maybe a little bit newer to the game, then I want to go through everything just more in depth of like why I'm doing this, why the spacing, what I mean when I say that kind of spacing thing, and the timing of all that. So this one's, I guess, a bit of a longer video than I meant to start with the dribbling, but hopefully this did help. Again, I'm going to go through like the specifics of skill moves. Maybe I'll do like a series of each thing. So do like 1, 2, 3 about the spacing I'm talking about. I'll do 1, 2, 3 of like skill moves. We'll do a basic primer to start with, and then just like more in-depth stuff. And I'll try to keep those a little bit shorter. So we'll try as best as we can to put out as much as I can on the dribbling. But you can see it's very, very effective here. This year, I'm able to do it against most of the opponents I'm playing against. It is hard against the drop back, so maybe we'll cover that too. But again, hopefully you have enjoyed this. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy now. Peace.